I love Keith Richards' playing, always have. Now that might surprise some of you because I mostly teach lead on YouTube, but I recently learned something about Keith's play that made me appreciate his greatness even more. That's coming right up. A couple of weeks ago, I re-listened to an old Fresh Air interview of Keith Richards. It was a great interview, and mostly it was great because Keith was just himself the whole time. But there was one point in particular that surprised me a little bit, and that was that Keith said he loved playing acoustic and that he tried to put it in every song that he could. I mean, of course, I know his beautiful introduction to Angie, which goes something like this. What's so great is that it starts with a great chord progression, so you could have just strummed through the chords and it still would have been a good song. But he didn't, of course. He made it better. For example, I love how he adds a simple melody line in the beginning. Or instead of playing the obvious E7 chord, he does something else. So instead of playing the obvious E7 chord, he plays this one, but he leaves the E string open, and then he puts the third in the bass. Brilliant. It's just so simple and beautiful, but of course it doesn't stop there. It continues through the whole introduction. Instead of just taking the pedestrian G to F, he does something with a suspended chord. Great way to get to that F, and then to get from the F to the C is really neat too. Yeah, just beautiful. But what really threw me for a loop was what came next. It should be obvious, but it explains something I was confused about for a long time. He said that two of his incredible riffs were actually an acoustic guitar played through a distorted Norelco cassette player used as amplifier. Those songs were Street Fighting Man and Jumpin' Jack Flash. Now you probably knew that he used an acoustic guitar in that, but it always perplexed me how he got that tactile sound, but it was just a little distorted. Now I know, so I'm going to try and reproduce it without the Norelco cassette tape deck. Now to try and reproduce that sound, I'm just going to use a simple setup. I'm going to use my Blackstar HT. I'm going to use this Noble's ODR mini pedal, and I'm going to use this Vangoa acoustic electric guitar because it's got a 4-band EQ and I can adjust it quite a bit. Just plug it right in. If you like the sound of this guitar in the video, there are links in the description along with a coupon code, so you might be able to save a few bucks. I get nothing for it either way, so please don't do it on my behalf. All right, what I can tell you is that there were a few sharp frets, which I dealt with my trusty foam sander, and the action is a little bit high, so I'm probably going to take down the action a little bit by adjusting the saddle. But now let's get on to Jumpin' Jack Flash. First, I'm going to take this guitar and put it in open E tuning. Next, I'll adjust the Noble's ODR Mini so that it just has a little bit of gain, near zero. I just want a little bit of overdrive on it. Next, I'll adjust the EQ on this electric acoustic just to tweak it a little bit so I get the sound that I like. All right, here's what I got. And if you want more tricks of the masters like Keith, click this, because I'll show you lots of little things that the greats did to make their playing easier and better. So click this. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you on down the road.